Hello, hello. My name is Melissa, and tonight's yoga practice is going to be really nice to do right before bed. This evening, I had a bath and decided why not film some yoga stretches to share with everyone. We'll begin in a butterfly position. So, bringing the feet together, the knees out to the side. And you can play with where the feet are. So maybe extending them out, creating this diamond shape with your legs. It seems to get a little bit more in the outer hips. Or you can draw your heels really close to your groin for more inner thigh stretch. Placing your hands on your feet and gently closing down the eyes. If you've had a busy day thus far, it might feel really nice to just tune into the breath. Simply observe the inflow and outflow. Disconnecting from our busy days and giving ourselves permission to turn inwards and reflect on how our body's feeling. What's our mental state? It might feel nice to even go further, maybe walking your hands forward if that's available and bowing the chin towards your chest. Just taking a few more breaths here, really releasing down into those hips, shoulders. Hmm. Walk the hands back, and we'll move into deer pose. Let's keep the right foot forward, 90 degrees at the knee, and swing the left leg back. So, what we're going to be looking for a stretch here is that front right hip, glute area, maybe hamstrings. That's where we're looking for a nice little stretch here. Walking the hands in front of your shin, and this might be enough. If you'd like to go deeper, begin to walk your hands forward. Just check in with the shoulders, relax them down away from the ears. See if you can really relax your abdomen area, just allowing your belly to kind of fall down towards your thigh. Now, as we're holding these stretches, we want to be mindful of what sensations arise. Typically, I recommend that my clients listen to their body when stretching instead of following a timeline like the classic 30 seconds. Mhm. At first, it's always going to feel a little bit intense, and then it generally eases off. So, tuning into when that sensation eases off, we really are doing the work. We're getting an efficient stretch in the muscles. And spend just a little bit more time on this side, maybe sinking a little further down or easing off, depending on what your body wants. If you're down onto your forearms, press into your hands, gently lift yourself up. We'll move into the other side with the left leg forward, swinging that right leg back. Just for a moment, allow the hips to ground down, which can definitely bring up a lot of sensation. Just tuning into that. And then see if you can square your torso over that left thigh and walk your hands forward. Essentially, belly should be over that left thigh. Either staying up on your hands or maybe coming down onto the elbows. If you have props, it's always nice, maybe adding a little extra height with a block or bolster, but not necessary. Just taking one more breath on this side, gently pressing yourself up. Bring both feet flat on the floor, knees bent, hands behind you, windshield wiper the legs side to side, moving with a slower pace, a slower tempo. Really explore what it feels like to move your thigh bones in that range of motion through your hip sockets. A couple more. Good. When we come back through to center, we're going to take the right foot towards your left butt cheek. So tucking that in and then taking the left leg up and over. Moving into our shoelace stretch. We're aiming, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to get there, but we're aiming to get the knees to stack over one another. And then feet flat on the floor, hips rooting down, grounded. Take an in breath and lengthen the spine upwards. And as you exhale, start to hinge forward with your torso, maybe walking the hands forward. Once again, keeping those hips pressing back and down, rooting towards the mat. This is definitely a juicy hip opener, so take your time with it. It will ease off with time. Noticing the tempo of your breath. See if you can breathe in for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 5. Together, let's do one round. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue on your own. Inhale for 4 and exhale for 5. So staying here for one more breath. We'll begin to walk our hands back. Keep your legs as they are. Left hand down on the floor, right hand reaching up towards the ceiling. Take a side bend, lateral flexion through here. Really rooting down through that right hip and expanding that space between the hip and the rib cage. Let your rib cage float up and away from your hips. Inhale to come back up through center. Release the right arm down. And we'll release the legs. Left leg out, then the right. Maybe give them a little shake side to side. Good. So this time, taking that left heel towards your right glute or sit bone and stacking the right leg over top. Again, stack knees, feet flat, hips grounded. Find a tall spine on your inhale. And as you exhale, begin to walk your hands forward. Find that fold that speaks to you. Firmly rooting your hands down into the floor or mat and pressing those hips back and down, creating a little bit of tension there. Inhale, find a little bit more length through the spine, the chest. And exhale, soften down. Maybe connecting back into that tempo breath. Inhaling for 4 and exhaling for 5. Walking the hands back, coming up to a neutral spine. Good. Then we're going to take the right hand down beside the right hip. Inhale, left arm up. Find length on your inhale. And exhale, side bend. Go over to the right. Explore what it feels like to root that left hip down and slightly revolve your chest up towards the ceiling. As we inhale, bringing our left arm up and resting it back down. And taking a breath here. And exhale. We're going to come into a seated forward fold, extending the legs straight out in front of you. And this might be a really nice option to grab a bolster or pillow or blanket underneath the knees if you've got really tight hamstrings. It's nice to have a little bit of support there. So I'm just going to move my sit bones back a little bit and create some length in my low back. See how I don't want my low back to roll back like that. So you can imagine taking your hand onto your low back and just pulling it up like so. And then I create this pelvic tilt. From there, I'm going to hinge forward to the best of my ability. And once again, we will see our body soften into the pose. So at first, it may feel really rigid and intense, but give yourself permission to just have patience, send your body love, It's doing the best it can with what it's got. Maybe slightly tucking the chin down towards your chest, creating some length in the back of the neck. Really guiding the crown of your head forward towards your feet. We can explore the breath by every inhale expands the belly, and every exhale pull your navel in and up and see if you can go a little bit deeper into the stretch. Gently begin to make your way back up. Allow your head to be the last thing to rise. Drive those shoulders back and down. Good. And we're going to do Chanushirshasana. It's a little bit of a side bend again. Let's take the right sole of the foot to the inner thigh, extending the left leg. And we'll take the right arm up. If you can imagine your rib cage sliding over to the right, and then reach your right arm over towards those toes. Grounding down through that right hip. Feel the heaviness of that whole right thigh, knee, calf, and shin. And as you inhale, imagine your rib cage is like a balloon and it's lifting up, filling with air. And as we exhale, we can pull ourselves a little deeper into the stretch. And checking in, what's going on with the neck? Can we relax it just a little bit more? Relaxing the jaw, forehead. Hmm. Take one more full inhale here. Stay for the exhale. Inhale to rise, reach that right arm. Just take a breath to let your spine settle. And we'll switch over to the other side. Extend the right leg, bending the left knee. With the right hand, just slide it down the shin. Inhale, left arm. And exhale, side bend. Exploring where it feels good to place your gaze, maybe looking down, forward, or up towards your arm. And if you could just imagine with your mind's eye, breathing deeply down into your low back on the left side, breathing into your QL muscle just above your hips. And we'll take one more breath here. Exhale it out. Inhale to rise back up. We'll take a wide-legged forward fold. So taking the legs as wide as you can get them, as long as those toes can stay pointing up towards the ceiling. Travel the hands down your legs, knees, shins. This one can most certainly be an intense sensation in the back of those legs, behind the knee. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some patience. As long as you can keep a flat back, you might be able to walk your hands forward and get a little bit further into the stretch. Once again, thinking about where the tailbone is. See if you can lift the tailbone up towards the sky, rolling the pelvis forward, keeping all 10 toes pointing up. Hmm. Gently begin to walk yourself back up to that neutral spine. And very slowly begin to bring the legs back together. Hmm. And for this next one, we're going to come down to our belly and work into our pec and shoulder. So before I go there, just thinking about this is where you're going to feel the stretch and into the front of the shoulder. And sometimes when we go into the stretch, our shoulder will elevate, especially our upper trap. So you want to keep that shoulder down, and then you should feel a really open stretch across here. So we'll begin on our belly, arms out to the side like a letter T, or you can bend the elbows at 90 degrees. So option there. I'm going to keep my right arm extended out and slide the left hand to the left shoulder. I'll begin to roll over onto my right side. And this is typically where that shoulder will start to elevate. So really pay attention to keeping the shoulder down. Top leg maybe bends and uses it as a kickstand, or you can keep it extended if that's too much. We'll start to move over to the other side, rolling onto the belly, and extend the left arm out to the side now, in line with the shoulder or just slightly above. Slide the right hand to right shoulder and we'll roll over. Now, this is a great place to really explore that deeper breath in. The expansion of the inhale can really move into your rib cage and intercostal muscles, some hidden areas of tension and stress. Good. Gently rolling onto your belly, taking a moment here in prone position. We'll make our way into a child's pose. So, option to keep the knees together, or it might feel better to keep the knees wide, mat distance apart. Everybody's hips are a little bit different, so play around with what feels really good in your own body. We'll extend the arms forward and bow the forehead down towards the mat. Allow your hips to get really heavy here and rooting down towards the heels. See if you can make contact with the heels, and if you can't, that's okay. Take a final few deep breaths here to finish off the practice. Bedtime stretches. And whenever you feel ready, coming up to seated. And that is a wrap for my bedtime yoga stretches. So I truly hope you enjoyed them and you feel better and that you have a wonderful sleep. Thank you so much for joining in.